my degree. And one time I was moving these people into this nice home, really nice home. It started raining on me. I'm just like, I just stopped. You know, what is going on? I'm out here moving people. I got a degree. I'm not using it. I realized at that moment that I was operating with no purpose again. No purpose. Where's my passion? I lost it all. I went right back to the mindset I had previously. But it was then that I realized and I knew that education was going to be key for me. So I learned all these things to graduate. Why don't I utilize these things to get ahead if I can get accepted into the graduate program? So I applied, I got accepted, and everything was great. I went for my master's in business administration, and I graduated with a 3.4 GPA May in 2015. And it was an amazing thing. My family came, as you can see. And what I realized during that duration of my master's was I found another purpose. So if you read my bio, you saw the summer of 2014, I was selected the first ever intern for the office of the president. And during this term, I was allowed to facilitate a program for the incoming freshman males that were going to be taken into Prairie. So the program was not in place. I molded it. I put everything together, the agenda. So it was my baby. I fell in love with it. And once I was able to read the narratives, not the narratives, but the feedback from the young men that participated in the program, that heard my narrative, heard my story, so many things, I just knew, man, this is what I want to do. If I can utilize my personal successes, my failures, to empower others, man, I can do this every day. You know, so I knew that was going to be my purpose. So although I knew my initial purpose for college was to go and finish with a career. So I finished with a career, and again, as my uncle stated, I was the area manager for the last 2 years. But again, I knew that was not my purpose. February 2016, this was the same month, I lost the greatest man of my life. Greatest man of my life, Vernon Mark Sr. And I started this company that month, purposely. Now, I didn't have any direction with it. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do with it. I knew I had information. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't have a plan. But I stayed working at it. I stayed working at it. And one night, I had a dream. It's crazy. I had a dream. I was speaking. And I spoke. Everyone listened. Everyone had a good time. And then everyone left. And they didn't take anything with them. And I was like, well, I need to create something, develop something where I can make sure that they go home with something, a tangible asset. And at that point in time, I was writing a book about my life. I was on page 38. I stopped. I'm still on 38. I'm still on 38. But I started writing my Pt.2 Student Success Workbook so that I can make sure that students and people who all need this knowledge can have something to go back with them and refer back to the need. And that's how the Pt.2 Student Success Workbook came about. So, in order to do these things, I had to realize that it started with me and my mindset. So what I need y'all to do, I need y'all to look into the mirror. You know, you got to see who it is that you are becoming. And think about who it is that you want to become. Think about who it is. And once you see who it is that you want to become, you got to believe it. You have to believe it. And from there, you got to make the commitment. Now, don't get confused with making the decision versus making the commitment. See, I made the decision to start my company, but if I wouldn't have been committed to running it, it would just be a company. And I may just be in one of these seats right here. I wouldn't be right here if I wouldn't have made the commitment. So it takes commitment because you're going to have to consistently work at whatever it is that you want to do. The work don't stop. It don't. The next thing is effort. Do not underestimate the amount of effort that you're going to have to put in to fulfill your goals. There are going to be roadblocks. There are